but otherwise we should be okay for the next 20 minutes. Good. Okay, so just to remind everyone, here are some clickable links that Claire's put together for us. Some of them you might be familiar with, but please have a shot, just click through them if you're unfamiliar with them. And just to say, I'm kind of a little bit familiar with Symbols for All, but I hear great things about them, so hopefully this will be a good opportunity for me to learn more about them as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll just hand over to Claire. She can maybe share her desktop and talk us through what Symbols for All is and some of the resources that's available.
Sure. Okay, crossing fingers.
Yeah, okay, I can see your screen, so that's working nicely.
That's a good start.
Okay, good.
Hi everyone. So this afternoon we're going to have a look at the Symbols for All website. This is a new Call Scotland project which we have created to help schools introduce symbol-supported teaching activities to learners with additional support needs. All of the symbol resources on the website are free, and you can see the website up on the screen there now. It's www.symbolsforall.org.uk. Probably the best way to think about them is a starter set of symbols if you're thinking about starting to want to introduce using symbol-supported learning and teaching in your setting. The whole idea is you don't need any specialist software to be able to access the resources. Everything that's on here is a PDF which you can download, print and start using straight away. So let's have a look at exactly what is on here. At the moment there are two kinds of symbol resources. So if you see along the top here where the tabs are, I've just hovered my cursor over the BookBug symbol resources. So many of you may be familiar with these. These are all of our symbol resources which support the Scottish Book Trust Picture Book BookBug Prize, never easy to say, books, and these are all the resources which you can use to support reading with the books, and we're going to have a quick look at them if we've got time at the end. We've also got, so those resources have all been made with a piece of software called Matrix Maker using the symbol set Symbol Sticks. If I move the cursor over to here where it says Curricular Resources, this is a set of resources which have been made primarily probably for learners who are at the primary stage. All these resources were made with Boardmaker version 6, or sometimes called Boardmaker Plus, using the picture communication symbols, PCS. So we're going to have a look at these and see exactly what they are. So I'm just going to click on the page and cross my fingers that we're still connected, and we are, so that's good. So all of the little blue underlined titles here, these all link to PDFs which you can download and print. They're all categorised according to the Scottish Curriculum for Excellence. So plus with an additional category just at the top here, there's a couple of examples of environmental or classroom labels, the sorts of labels that you might want to start using if you were thinking of using symbols to create a communication friendly environment in your particular setting. All of the curricular areas are arranged alphabetically, so you'll see that we start here at the top with expressive arts, and if I scroll down you'll see we get to health and well-being. There's a variety of different types of resources, so let's have a look at one of them just to see what we've got. So I'm going to click on the lunchtime requests placemat here. So this is an example of a resource, a symbol resource that you could print off, laminate and start using straight away. You don't need to do anything else to the resource. So this is the sorts of something that you could use with a learner at lunchtime to help support their communication around if they want more of food, if they've had enough, if they think it's nice, if they don't think it's nice, and some of the sorts of basic food things that you might be using every single day. So that's a kind of print off and go resource that you can use. But if I go back, I'm going to click back now. If I wanted to print that, by the way, all I would do is go up to this print icon here at the top, just click print if this laptop that I'm on was connected to a printer, and it would just print it out for me. You can also download it to save it to your computer as well. So maybe you would want to put them on some kind of shared drive in your settings so everyone would be able to access them easily without necessarily having to be connected to the internet. So I'm going to go back to the main page and we'll see what else is there. So when the curricular resources come back up again, we'll see that there's a variety of different boards which are available. There are some specific curricular resources, and there are also some communication support resources as well. And if we can get back in, we're going to have a wee look at them.
You're doing a good job of filling in while that page loads.
It's taking its time, so we'll maybe just click this back again. Go to the home page and see if we can get in. This is the great thing about relying on something for the internet. If that's not going to work just now, we can maybe come on to look at something else that's offline and we can have a look at it there. Yeah, I think, oh no, there we go, we're back in. So if I go back to the curricular resources, and I'm sure very quickly we're going to get the page back up and I can show you exactly the sorts of things that are on there. What I'll do while I'm waiting for that to load, I've actually got the resource that I was going to show you as the PDF downloaded as a Boardmaker file. So we're kind of skipping a little bit ahead here, but if you imagine this is a PDF, I'm going to open it in Boardmaker and I'm going to explain how you can do that a little later on. But this is the communication, the style of communication resources, some of which we have available on Symbols for All. So this is what's called a chat board, and a lot of these resources are labelled as core chat boards. So the idea is you're using language and you're giving your learner a chance to communicate using language, this green highlighted words here, which they'd use in a variety of different contexts. So we've got a water table chat board, there's a jigsaw chat board, a Play-Doh chat board. The language isn't based around the topic, the nouns like water, fill, pour. That's very specific. The fringe vocabulary related to the water table. This is what you get as the repeated language in the various different chat boards that are available on Symbols for All. So that's the water table chat board, which is one of them. So I'm going to go back to the curricular resources page and keep scrolling down. That's health and well-being. Now we're down to literacy and English under the languages curricular area. You'll see there we've got as well a Gaelic symbol supported version of Old MacDonald and a Room on the Broom Scots word mat as well. So there's lots of variety in terms of the things that are available. So that was, so far we've had a look at resources which don't really need anything doing to them for you to use them. I'm going to show you an example of one that does require a bit of cutting out and a bit of Velcro, all of which I'm sure would be very, very familiar to you. So this is a sciences resource. This is a floating and sinking resource.
Sorry, Clay, just say there's a slight lag in between when you download it and what we're seeing on the screen, but I'm sure it will come.
Okay.
It's not quite open.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So it's just coming up there. Yeah. So I've just clicked on floating and sinking, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm sure that'll, it's going to happen a little after I'm doing it. This is a resource that has been created for learners who might be using PECS, the communication system, PECS, Picture Exchange Communication System. So we're thinking about how they would use the sentence starters of I think and I see. This is all based around a practical activity of floating and sinking, finding out what things might float and might sink. And this symbol supported activity would give your learners the opportunity to work out, would a cork float, would it sink? And if they thought that it would float, for example, you would have your cutout floating and sinking labels, which you'd have Velcro on the back of. You would have this recording your observations chart here, which has been laminated, and you would probably put a bit of Velcro in the middle, and then your learner would be able to add their prediction and then add their observation at the end. So you'll see there is a little bit of work that's needed in terms of preparing those resources, and there are a few other symbol resources that are like that. So we'll go back to the main Symbols for All website, and we'll think about how you can edit and personalize the resources if you have access to Boardmaker software. So some of these, all of the resources that we've seen today, you can just download and print, but you may well want to personalize them for the learners who you work with. You might want to edit things, you might want to add things to them. And the way that you'd get access to all of those original Boardmaker files is you go to Boardmaker Online, which I've still got up on my web browser here. When we get the website back, I'll show you how to find the link for that, and I'm going to describe to you how you would access the resources on Boardmaker Online. So the files that we've got on Boardmaker Online are all .bm2 files, because all of the Symbols for All resources were created using Boardmaker, and they're all stored here on the Boardmaker Online community. If you have Boardmaker software, if you have Boardmaker version 6, if you have Boardmaker Studio, or a Boardmaker Online subscription, you can access all of the Symbols for All original files and download them and edit them in your version of the software. How you do that is by signing up for what's called a Boardmaker community account. You'll see here I'm signed in under a community account, and that is a free account which you can use an email address to sign up to, put in your details, and you can then search all of the activities that have been uploaded to the Boardmaker Online community, and you would be able to find the Call Scotland Symbols for All resources on there. I'm just going to go back to the website to see if I can get into the About page. There we go. And I'm going to show you where the link to that Boardmaker Online website is on there. Obviously you can just type it into your web browser if you want to, but if you scroll all the way down to the bottom here, you'll see we've got a link there to the Boardmaker Online community. If you click that, that will take you through to the Toby Dynavox sign up page, and you can sign up for your community account. And if you want to find the Symbols for All resources, what I suggest, one of the easiest ways you can do that is by scrolling up to all the tags that we have everything saved under. And I'm going to copy the Health and Wellbeing tag and search for that. I'm going to go back to the Boardmaker Online website, and I'm going to paste that tag in and search. And depending on what the internet's doing, it should pull up all of the Symbols for All resources, and then I'll show you how you can download them. There we go, it's loading them all. So there we've got 13 of them all together, and you can see them all here. So if I click on one of these resources, I'm going to go and click on this water table core word chat board here. This is what you would see if you were signed in with your free community account. It allows you to download that resource, and I would do that using the download arrow, which is here. I'm going to download it, and that would then start downloading as a .bm2 file. So you can see at the bottom of the screen there, it's just appeared water table core word chat, and then if I open that, it will open this board in Boardmaker version 6, but if you had Boardmaker Studio, you would be able to import it and edit it in Boardmaker Studio. If you had Boardmaker Online, you would be able to edit it directly in Boardmaker Online. So now I've got the original file, and say I wanted to change this symbol here more, because my setting doesn't use that symbol for more, it uses something else. I can type in another symbol and change and edit and personalize it according to what we're using in my particular setting. So that is how you can access the original files and edit them in your version of Boardmaker software. But of course you can just download them all as PDFs and use them as is straight from the website. So that's the curricular resources that we've got on Symbols for All website. We've also got all of our BookBug symbol supported resources on there as well. They're also all PDFs which you can download, and in fact Joanna did a webinar a couple of weeks ago all about the BookBug resources, explaining what they were, how to use them and where you could find them. But quite simply you just go to the BookBug tab and you will see that if you scroll down here, this is the kind of main place to access them from. This is this year's Primary 1 family bag, which was given out a few weeks ago at Book Week Scotland. The Explorer bag symbolised resources are there as well. But if I click on the P1 family bag, there's this year's shortlisted books. I believe tomorrow is the last day for voting. So if you haven't voted with your learners, now is the time to do it. But here are all the symbol resources to support reading and shared reading the BookBug books. So you would, same as the others, simply click on them, download the PDF, and you would be able to print it out and start laminating it and using it with your particular group of learners. So that's the BookBug resources. You'll see that it's a slightly different symbol set that's been used. As I said earlier, it's symbol sticks that we use to create these resources. And the piece of software that we use is something called Matrix Maker. And just very quickly, I just want to show you what that looks like for those of you who are maybe not familiar with it. So Matrix Maker is a product that has been produced by Inclusive Technology. And if you are familiar with Inclusive Technology products, then the look and the feel of this will be very similar. So if you've used maybe Choose It Maker or MyBoard software, it's got a very similar look to it. It's really easy to use. All of the resources that you can create using Matrix Maker all are using templates which are provided for you. So you can't create your own stuff. You have to use the templates are there. But if I click on communication devices and show you the sorts of templates that you can get, you'll see pretty much any communication device that you might have in your school is most likely going to be there. So if I click on Big Mac, it's going to open a blank page for me to populate with symbol or photograph resources. So with Matrix Maker, you've got several options for what goes in here. You can use the webcam and take a photograph of something if you wanted to add it into your label. You could search on the internet. You could have a file stored on your computer, or you can search the media library. And you'll see in the media library that it has two different symbol sets that are available to you. There's the symbol stick symbol set, so the same as the BookBug resources, and there's also widget symbols in there as well. And you get a pretty good number of symbols. Symbol sticks, there's around 13,000, and widgets around 11,000. So if I search for something seasonal, we'll see what appears. I search for Merry Christmas. There we go. I've got various different options. I'm just going to choose the first one. So you click and you click OK, and it automatically populates it into the size of the template, and it will do all the sizing for you. So once it's in there, you can edit it. If I go up to the tabs along the top here and go to the next one along, the Edit tab, that allows me to edit this image that I've got here. So if I could duplicate it, put it in the other cell if I wanted to, I could flip it around, flip it upside down. If you want an upside down Santa, turn him around, whatever you want to do with the image. It also gives you the option to edit the pictures as well. So say if I wanted to add some eyes to this Santa, I could do that. But just be aware, once you do that, it will give you a slightly pixelated image compared to the other one. It's just not quite as high quality. So that's the picture that you can edit. You can also edit the text really simply. You can make it bigger, but the image obviously gets smaller. You can just directly go and change the size of the text. You can edit the text. I might want it to say Merry Christmas rather than just Christmas. You can remove it altogether. You might just want to have a picture in there. But if you change your mind, just go along to the undo button. You can change the colour of both the text and the cell. So you might want to have something in a really high contrast for a learner with some kind of visual impairment. So now we've got a much higher contrast in the back, and you can also swap the text from the top to the bottom as well. And then once you've done, you can save your board. It just saves as a matrix maker file, you'll see there, and you can print it straight from there too. So that's Matrix Maker. I'm going to exit and go back to the Symbols for All website. You can buy that for around £169 for one copy. You can get multiple copies and the price goes down, and that's just what for one user. If you're just going to use it at home, you can get an at-home copy of it as well for £79. And the links for all of those different bits of software are all in the module just on the home screen of the webinar there. So that's really all I wanted to say. Yep.
If you could just return back to the home page, so maybe just stop sharing.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if there's any questions. If anybody has questions, okay, I'll just bring up the chat pane for that. Well, we survived, thankfully. That was really good. So I was just going to ask that I know in the past that some of the sort of symbol suppliers have always sort of had limitations on how you can distribute some of the symbols. Is there permission? What sort of limitations are there any that you can just create these and distribute them? It's fine to do that, is it?
We very kindly, Toby Dynavox have given us permission to share this set on Symbols for All, and it's a kind of limited edition set of symbols that we can share, which we're really grateful for, in the same way that Symbol Sticks have given us permission for the bookbug symbols. And just to say as well, in the new year, there will be some widget resources appearing as well on the Symbols for All website, probably more aimed at secondary age and stage of learners as well.
Yeah, okay. So Sharon's asking just to confirm that these symbol sets are usable even if you don't have Boardmaker in the school.
Yes, Sharon, you can just download them, download whatever's on the website there and just use it as you need to in the school. The only thing you wouldn't be able to do is edit them.
Yeah, or create your own.
Or create your own,
yeah. So that's a great resource. So, and obviously a lot of hard work has gone into those symbol sets. And is it something you're going to continue to do? Is it you're going to expand on, the availability of the resources?
Well, I think the next thing that we're going to do is have some resources available for secondary age learners, and they will be widget learners. And then once that's done, that's really a complete set of examples of how you can use symbols for learning and teaching for nursery in terms of the bookbug and the P1 bag and the Explorer bag, primary for the PCS and secondary for the widget.
Yeah, okay, that's great. If you have any questions for Claire about what you've seen, or just pop them into the text chat below, and I'm sure Claire will answer them. If you do have anything. If not, we're past our time, so we can probably close up the session, but it's thanks to the tethering of Claire's iPhone, we managed to get by. Okay, thanks Sharon. Thanks Debbie. I guess there's maybe no more questions then. So we have recorded the session, and it will be available as an archive probably tomorrow, and everyone's name will be anonymised, so don't worry about anybody seeing your names on the screen. So okay, thanks everyone. We'll close the session now and say thanks. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye. Thanks to Claire as well. Thanks Claire. Thanks.